All right, everybody. So welcome to the first annual, the first ever, the first show of the year review and results for AEW Dynamite. And we are joined here by Irish McNasty.
What up? How we doing?
I'm going to go over to the YouTube page right now. And we'll get all checked in. Alright, we are live. Alright, so yeah, this is what we're doing.
Go.
We are reviewing and giving our own personal opinions of AEW Dynamite. So full disclosure, I absolutely love AEW so far. I've been following since day one, since the Jericho press conference, right? Was that the official announcement?
Yeah. No, this has been everything that we've been waiting for. How sad was the state of wrestling before these guys even acknowledged the fact that they were going to start this whole brand.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't watched wrestling period at all for about 10 to 12 years. So I'm what Cody was referring to as what did he say? A returner?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think. So, what was the last gimmick that sucked me in from WWE? It would have to be when CM Punk dropped the pipe bomb. I think that was the last time I really watched wrestling WWE anything.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, 12 years, so I even missed the whole CM Punk thing, period. I mean, I'd heard of him, of course. I saw him in UFC, of course, just like everybody else. But I didn't actually watch wrestling until AEW got announced again, and I haven't missed anything, like being the Elite, Dark, anything that has to do with AEW, period. I'm all over it.
Well, you gotta be. I mean, because they really knew how to commercialize the product. Like if they, even from the vignettes on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Merch Freak, this all this stupid stuff that.
Yeah. I mean, being the Elite is basically canon at this point. Everybody in the stadium knows all the shtick from being the Elite, almost more than what the TNT people know just by watching the show. You know what I mean? It's saying a lot.
Exactly, because they've just created such a fandom just from the fact that they enjoy the product, they enjoy what they do. So you can tell just in the little vignettes that they do. Merch Freak. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right, so let's get down to it. I think that's enough. If anybody has any questions about our personal, views on wrestling as a whole, you can just throw those up in the comments, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. But we're here to review this first show of the year, right? So
Yep.
So let's get to it. I mean, they had a nice little what do you call it? A callback package right before the show started that basically caught everybody up to the storylines that we're gonna be playing out on this show. Pretty good.
Well,
Usual.
see, and I love that they do a recap. I love that they. That was one of my problems with other brands. I got tired of 3-week stories. I like the fact that they foreshadow a show. I like that they keep they keep it fresh, you know, and help you remember what's actually going on in certain rivalries.
Oh yeah. I mean the rivalries they seem like they're pretty liquid I mean, it seems like it's 2 or 3 weeks right now, but we've only had what 14 weeks total of this show, so everything is going to be super short, super small sample size. But I mean, as a whole so far, I'd say they're definitely doing better than I was expecting them to do as far as the TV. Then they have some obvious glaring holes, and we'll talk about some of those because some of those come up in this show. So the first match, you see it there on the screen. It was Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page against the Private Party.
One of my things was, I understand that we've got the revolving commentary.
Yeah, the 3-man table and all that, you mean? And the 5 other people backstage?
Yeah. I like a lot of the guys that they brought out to do commentary. Dave Brown.
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't even know that there was a guest at the table for the first match. I'm not gonna lie. Excalibur's announcing style, although I do approve of him overall, he's grown on me a lot through these, like I said, 13 weeks. But everything that comes out of his mouth sounds like a soundbite. It's like he says 3 words, has to look down at a piece of paper, see his next word or next 3 words, and then starts over. It's like it doesn't seem organic. It doesn't seem like he's sitting there talking to people.
Right. It just it seems like he's looking for his next bite. It's like he's waiting for the little tone in the ear to play up something, and then he just rehashes out of his bag of tricks.
Yeah.
And if you're not JR, you don't have slobber knocker. You don't have those key phrases.
Yeah, and I mean, JR doesn't seem to have it all anymore. He's not JR, you know what I mean? But at the same time, a lot of the time, when I am listening and I catch something, it's JR saying something that makes me literally laugh out loud. You know what I mean? JR, when he does go off the track, I laugh. Like, it actually makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's like the crazy uncle that is...
Yeah, crazy Uncle JR, for sure.
You're like, what's crazy Uncle JR gonna say? But you love him. I mean, he is such an integral part of wrestling.
I mean, for sure. He definitely is a huge part of wrestling. And I mean, the whole business.
And I can't say enough about Tony Schiavone. I've always loved Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone's the GOAT. Schiavone, as my boy Jericho calls him. Schiavone is the GOAT.
Yeah, he just ever since the early days of wrestling for me, Tony knows how to play up. Tony knows how to play up us and set up things. Tony knows how to react.
He's just a pro. That's the way to boil it down. He's a pro. Yeah, so that's our overall views on the commentary table. I guess we should start from the beginning and cover as much as we can from the beginning on the first episode, right? So
exactly. And then here's my thing. What are we doing with Taz? Is Taz gonna?
Oh yeah, what's up with the rumor? I was legitimately hoping that Taz was gonna get that on-screen leadership role that's been rumored.
I would really like to see that. I thought he added a lot to last week's show.
Oh yeah, I think him and MJF were probably the best sit-ins on Dark so far. MJF, it was like that guy could do anything in the business, anywhere, anytime. And he's still the guy that you just like to fucking punch in the face, and you love him at the same time. You know what I mean? It's such a weird... it works. It works.
That is what I love about him. He is like... He knows how to play that old school bad guy.
I think, with the total new school feel, because you know what I mean, the cockiness of that generation of he does it. He is the complete package, and if he doesn't end up in the Wrestling Hall of Fame when it's all said and done, I
Well,
don't know
as
what to
long as
say.
he doesn't do anything stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's gonna do some stupid stuff, but as long as he doesn't blow out a knee or something in the next fucking 6 months, and I mean, I'm knocking on wood here for you, MJF.
Well, and he's a guy that, like I said, I think my whole thing with AEW and us watching it from like day one, I think the thing that I like is the fact that I don't think these guys would ever find a place in WWE. And
Some of them. I
well,
mean, we'll get to that throughout the show. I
yeah,
think,
yeah,
I think we should get to the
this
actual
actual
review.
match.
Yeah. All right. So Hangman and Kenny Omega. Hangman's definitely got something going on right now. Storyline. Um, heel turn? Question mark.
I, I think that's definitely a possibility, and I think he's already with the Dark Order.
You think Hangman Page is already in the Dark Order? Long? What do you mean? Like long play storyline? Long game?
You hear it here first. I think that's the reason why that one dude wasn't really beating up Cody or any of those guys a couple weeks ago when the Dark Order attacked them.
You think he's Hangman?
I think that's Hangman.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we'll get back to that because I think both of those people are involved here tonight. Um, this Hangman and Kenny Omega tag team. I love it. I love it right now. I love it. That's the way to get Hangman over. He wasn't over. I'm gonna tell everybody. Like I said, I'm a returner. I hadn't seen the Indies, which I know was the huge. It was the rave. I had to catch up. Hangman, although he's great and he reminds me of Barry Windham, he wasn't over.
No. He was struggling. Um, and I don't know if it was the matches he was in or just the roles he was taking on in those early shows.
Yeah, I
But
think
he's. Go ahead.
the whole company was growing. I think, and he definitely he fits. Don't get me wrong. He's the guy. He's going to be the guy. But he wasn't getting over in the first, I'd say, 6 weeks. If it wasn't for
Yeah.
being the elite, I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
You know what? But that is a nice jumping point for those guys. The being the elite, they can start pushing these guys so that you get this. They can work up their own characters. That's my favorite part of all of this new wrestling. This new product really has me just wanting more and more and more.
Yeah, and going to different platforms to get it. You know what I mean? It's a downside because the people that are just watching on TV, sometimes they end up being lost. And it shows kinda, with the fan base so
Yeah.
far and everything that I've read. But it's definitely helpful to get young guys over. So
Well,
the
and you can tell with like certain markets that they've been in where like um, you can tell who's watching the product and on all platforms and who isn't.
right.
Because like I was noticing some of the smaller markets, some of the stuff that was getting over in the bigger markets because people were watching all the platforms wasn't really taking off.
Yeah.
Especially with the librarians.
Yeah, the librarians are dead. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Don't
I
say
really
that.
don't. Yeah. Well, well, we'll see. Maybe next week they'll make a review and results appearance on Dark, or we could talk about them. So overall, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page tag team, love it. It's 3 thumbs up so far. Private Party. They are going to be here. They're going to be in the picture. They're going to be a part of the big picture the whole time.
Um, you think so?
I think so. I think they're legit. I think Isaiah Cassidy's screams are a little annoying. I think Mark Quinn, the guy, can absolutely fly. He levitates. He's got that Jordan in him.
Yeah. He is an aerial performer. I don't like the gimmick.
You don't like the private party gimmick?
I
After
don't like
hours,
the gimmick. I don't like the gimmick at all. It's like
shot
it
callers.
seems,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it seems kind of, it's kind of high school to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I
like
mean, yeah, but that partying, being cool in high school, the being the cool guys. That I mean, what kind of audience are they bringing in? The high
right.
school
Yeah.
crowd, those kids. It's
I
all
mean, and his
big picture,
tails,
smart.
his his tails drive me up a wall though, yo.
the the piano player.
I'm like, I just want to cut those damn things off.
I think they're super talented. I think they're going to be in the big picture from here on out. That's what I think. This match, though, I think this match is pretty good, man. And I think Kenny Omega, any match that he's in, he's going to make everybody look good, not just
Well,
himself.
and here's the thing, like, okay, so these guys played well off each other, right? Everything from the flip that he did out of the suplex, the toss, um, uh, uh, uh,
What are we
I'm,
talking about?
I'm,
I'm talking about Isaiah Cassidy. I'm talking about
yeah.
Mark Quinn.
So Isaiah Cassidy came off the top rope over onto Kenny Omega earlier,
Okay.
where he popped him out of the ring.
Yeah, okay. I think I remember the spot.
Yeah. So I mean, the way they work I'm gonna give them pops on their work because the work is tight. I just don't like the gimmick, girl.
Yeah, and I mean, so some people are definitely not going to like the gimmick. Um, I think I don't know. The one down I have on the private party, which I'm completely up on, is sometimes some of their stuff it doesn't talk you into the suspending disbelief. You know what I mean? They look like they're waiting on people. They look like they're cooperating too much in the ring. It doesn't look like they're in there
Yeah,
to
like they're
show that
waiting on
they're
their
the better
calls.
athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a competition. It's like,
No.
and I
You,
mean, that's all a part of the new wrestling. You know what I mean? This generation, the way that it evolved, right?
yeah. And see, and that's my other thing. The way that Hangman worked those guys when he went back to do his tag into Kenny Omega, and he like suplexed the one dude. He suplexed Mark on top of the other guy, and then did his move. I mean, just the timing that these guys are exhibiting in the tag team divisions is just outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'd say so. I think in this match in particular, though, I think Hangman and I think Kenny Omega definitely get the you know I don't want to say ups and downs because that's somebody else's shtick, but I think Hangman. I like seeing him with a chip on his shoulder. It makes him more believable as a character, as a gimmick, as how his work in the ring plays out. How he
Yeah.
executes. I like him with the chip on his shoulder. It makes me like Hangman a lot more than I did when he was fighting, even when he was fighting Jericho for the championship.
Yeah. You know who he kind of reminds me of is Beer Money.
I heard this earlier. I think that he is probably the closest thing to today's Stone Cold right now with
Yeah.
his drunk gimmick. Speaking of the drunk gimmick, shout out to the being wasted, wandering around backstage looking for Kenny. In the shout out to Arthur from Red Dead Redemption looking for Lanny. Shout out.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That shit was hilarious.
Where's Kenny?
Where's Kenny? Kenny. Hilarious. It was the best.
That really was.
But what do you think the spot of this match? What do you think was the big spot, memorable spot of this match?
Um, I'm gonna have to. Okay, like here's what I was gonna say about Kenny Omega. I'm not a fan of the strong style wrestling, but I love that one-winged angel.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I we have our disagreements, and this is one of them. I like the strong style because it's more, obviously, it doesn't lend itself to longevity of the wrestlers and the health of the wrestlers, but
Yeah.
it makes it way more believable when you're watching it. When you're watching it because you want to make believe, being the smart mark here, but when you want to make believe that you're watching these dudes that really don't like each other in a ring trying to whoop each other's asses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I like the strong style.
See, and the way they work outside the ring is also really impressive. The
You mean
Hangman,
like ringside when they're
yeah,
during the match ringside?
Hangman and Omega jumping out of the ring when they're what was it? Was it 2 weeks ago when him and Cody and Hangman all jumped out of the ring?
Oh, you mean the dives? Let's talk. Yeah, let's take a minute and talk about this. We're gonna go through the things that have happened 83 times on every single show that everybody is completely sick of. Let's talk about it. Number one for me would be Canadian Destroyer every 6.5 minutes and it not having anything to do with a finish or a false finish. Number one on my book right there.
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree. And like you said, my number one is everybody dives. Everybody dives.
Yeah. There is approximately 37 and a half tope suicidas or suicide torpedoes, as JR likes to call them, every single match.
The guy is 7'10", 8,000 pounds, and here he is shooting.
Totally agree. Throw up your comments. Let us know what your number one is here, guys, because this is not even like our own personal belief. I believe everybody in the world believes that Canadian Destroyers are overused and not protected, and dives per ratio, dive per minute on AEW Dynamite is way too high. In this match, of course, Mark Quinn with the four dives in one sequence. Yeah, that is super athletic. I'd probably be able to do it 1.5 times and then lay there on the side because I smoke cigarettes, I don't run, plenty of reasons. But
asking for a cigarette. Can I have a cigarette now? I'm done.
Yeah. And I mean, throw back to the wrestlers coming in smoking cigarettes and drinking beers, because that would be me.
Yeah, I'd be a really great manager.
All right, so overused things. What else? Blind tags. Blind tags would be number 2, because I'm just gonna give you. We're gonna just unique things. Each of us will start our own list. Things can't be reused. Number 2, blind tags.
I didn't know they tagged in AEW.
Well, they didn't for a while there. That's for damn sure. I think Jericho having to say something. I don't know if it was a work or not, but Jericho having to say something in particular to the Lucha Brothers. I believe that was the rumor, that he said something to Lucha Brothers on a podcast, something like that. Tags, yeah. I don't blame the ref for sometimes not knowing who is the legal man in the ring.
It's funny because it's like I think it was like the second episode that we were watching, and we're just laughing. We're like, oh, they don't even give a shit about tags.
Yeah.
I'm like,
the blind tag, and even to take that further for me, I'm talking about the slap on the back, when someone's just in the corner. I don't like that, this is one of the things I agree with Cornette about. I think a legal tag is when the guy's hand is on the top turnbuckle or holding onto the tag rope, and it's hand-to-hand combat, or hand-to-hand contact from partner to partner. I don't like the slap on the back.
Combat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh, so I guess Private Party won in this, but the actual match.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, this is just something to fill the space. This is more about the conversation me and Irish are having here. But I'd put a little something together just so you guys have something pretty decent to watch. And this is where we're at.
And this is also the part of the television show where Pac came out, and I love his fucking heel move. I love it. I cannot
Well,
say enough about Pac.
hold on one second before we get to Pac. I just wanted to say that my spot of the match was where the buckshot lariat, where that one spot where Hangman pulls his buckshot, flips over the top rope, goes over the top, and almost buckshots Kenny again, but he turtles. That was like, oh yeah, that was good. That was a good spot. That was my favorite spot of the match.
No, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, Hangman and Kenny get the W, obviously. So we'll take it there. Ends like Irish just led into with another Pac segment backstage, apparently beating the shit out of Michael Nakazawa again. Again, right? It's like
Okay,
last week or whatever it was, it hasn't even stopped yet. I think Pac is still just beating the shit out of Michael Nakazawa. Kenny's still looking for him. They traveled from city to city in that what's the name of it? The choke move where he gets him.
Oh, what is it? I can't remember it. Oh, but that's my favorite. It's like this whole thing with him and Michael Nakazawa, this love affair.
Yeah. Yeah, simply because he's Kenny Omega's best friend, and Pac needs to have his rubber match. He's not going to let either storyline advance until he gets his rubber match, and they see who is the better man between Pac and Kenny Omega.
Kenny runs backstage, and what does Hangman do? He doesn't follow. He just sits out, hangs,
actually,
has beers.
he gets drunk again. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna stand here with this dude. He's pretty cool. He's got a beer for me. I'm gonna chill.
I'm like, we are not resolving shit. I'm gonna have cocktails. These guys are right.
2 weeks in a row. Does Hangman Does Hangman not give a shit at all about Michael Nakazawa? Did they not become friends in Japan?
Does Michael Nakazawa owe him money or something?
Right.
I'm just trying to figure it out. But see, it goes back to that thing. That's where I'm saying I think this is all Hangman's turn.
Yeah.
This all goes back. I think he is part of the freaking.
See, I don't even need a turn at this point. I love where Hangman's at. I love it. I think he should just stay right here for a while. Don't push the turn. I think they pushed the turn with MJF a little too early. And I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, and I'm a backseat fantasy booker right now, but I think it was too early. I think that Hangman, leave it where it is. I love it.
Pac, what do you say about Pac? I mean, I think he got screwed by WWE. I think this guy's a monster, and I think this guy needs to be wearing a belt.
I think him making it work with him and him coming back. I don't know what happened with the whole Hangman and him storyline to begin. The very very first storyline with AEW. You know what I mean? They were at the press conference, right? Pac was saying, that everybody knows at this point. I think that's huge. Gold. If Pac doesn't sign, I don't know where AEW would be. It definitely wouldn't even be where it is right now, which is competing.
And I think that's kind of what brought me into AEW is because I was like, what? Pac's going to be wrestling again? Pac's going to be wrestling like...
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I got to see him fight Kenny Omega.
Of course. It was great. It was great. I think getting Neville, a.k.a. Pac, because his grandma used to call him Six Pack or something like that. I believe that's where Pac comes from. Gold. Pure gold.
Dude, he
Hangman
is
getting
built like a
drunk.
shit brick house.
Hangman not giving a shit about Pac and Michael Nakazawa and getting drunk. All thumbs up. That's exactly what I'd be doing, which is why I like Hangman a lot more lately.
He's just drinking tall boys with the crowd.
Right?
I mean,
How about the sign in the crowd? Not Hangman Page, but Hangover Page. Great. I love that guy. Whoever made that sign, you're my guy. Hangover
see,
Page.
and I guess that's the other thing that I fucking love about AEW. And WWE does not care about their fans as much as these guys do.
Oh, definitely not. The WWE cares about their demographic, you know, that 13-year-old, and that's the people, the kids that absolutely force their parents to buy them everything they want. That's their demographic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's brutal for diehard fans like us to watch because you give us nothing to watch.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I am not.
They should aim it more widely. I'd say, you know, try to cover more demographics, more age groups, more sexes even, to try to cover them, try to keep them everybody entertained instead of the
Your
young kids.
demographic should be from like freaking 15 to 25. Give me something. Give me something.
Yeah, for sure. And again, that's why we're here. That's why we're watching AEW instead of WWE. Honestly, I haven't watched any WWE even since AEW started. WWE is off my radar. I watch NXT highlights every now and again, and I'll you know, again, full disclosure, NXT is probably the best product overall in wrestling right now. I'll say it.
Yeah, I gotta jump more into NXT. It's kind of hard for me to watch because, like, when I watch NXT, it kind of reminds me of Glow Women's Wrestling. Just that production value.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like NWA right now, NWA has a good thing going on, but I don't like the hokiness. I don't. It's
Yeah.
like exactly what John Moxley was talking about when he said, "I hate the hokey bullshit." That is NWA to me.
That, I didn't Jim Cornette get fired from there or leave again?
Yeah, Jim Cornette did get fired from there again. Yeah, I think he might have resigned, but everybody knows what happened. He might as well have been fired.
No, don't get me wrong. Puff, puff, pass.
The inner circle. What's up? Shout out in chat if you know what we're talking about.
But no. So like my whole thing was, I've always been a fan of wrestling, and I will always be a fan of WWE. I am not a fan of the product, but I will always be a fan of WWE. Because I grew up when
Um, I get you,
back in the days of
but
AWA and WCW
oh,
and
WCW. Yep.
yeah. So it was like there used to be a product, but now I think for the last 20 years, Vince McMahon's just.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong. WCW fed us plenty of shit sandwiches. That's what I watched. You know, WCW was my thing. Me and my dad, we just kick back and watch wrestling. They fed us plenty of shit sandwiches. NWO, number one, always.
Oh yeah, that was. I think that's got to be. Well, didn't they just get inducted into the Hall of Fame, or
Yep.
are they getting inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, NWO. I believe it was announced. NWO is getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, which is whatever. They need to be there. They need to be recognized as number one because they are the resurgence of wrestling back in the day.
They changed everything. Hulk Hogan changed his whole identity. I love that. I actually liked Hulk Hogan because of that.
Yeah, Hollywood, because of the Hollywood change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole coming out to the Jimi Hendrix music, the whole having, everybody not like them and
Yeah, Hulk. I
the
mean,
heat they got.
if you're into wrestling at all, even if you're just a passerby, you know that Hulk Hogan was a god at one point.
Oh,
Now at this point, he's had his controversies, just like damn near 80% of everybody else. But
whoops, she's not living the most purest life. But,
yeah, of course. But back in the
but
day,
back in the day, he used to take his vitamins and
he
see
was
his
a god.
players.
Yeah, exactly. True American hero. Hulk Hogan, Road Warriors, Undertaker. You know what I mean? These guys are Mount Rushmore. Nobody could argue with it. Everybody knows it.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah. Let's not put everybody on the mount here.
Hey, Rowdy,
Rowdy definitely has his spot, but these are just things that we agree with. Everybody else should agree with it. If you don't, throw it up in the chat, throw it up in the comments. Let us know. We'll get to
Tell us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah. We're gonna tell plenty of people in this podcast to go fuck themselves, so we expect that in return. All right, let's go going here to the next matchup, which is Riho, the women's champion, who had been missing for 2 months and then showed up and defended her title in that 4-way last week against the alien herself, the new prospect, Chris Statlander.
All right.
Overall thoughts. Let's start with Riho. Here. Overall thoughts.
Okay, I thought, when she first debuted, I was expecting a lot more.
You think? I think I didn't know who Riho was. I was vaguely informed about Riho, but I didn't know who she was. I didn't know what to expect.
Well, from watching stuff on YouTube, the stuff that I watched, I don't know if because she was working with, in Japan and stuff like that, she had people that were more fluid with her style.
Yeah, the Yoshi style. She's definitely out there. It was just, I'm not saying that. I know that it was just me who didn't know who she was. It wasn't just me, but I mean, in my own perspective, I didn't know who she was. Plenty of people do know her.
I don't think it plays well with the rest of the female wrestlers that they have here. I don't think they really have anybody that can support her.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Riho for sure.
That's why they have to.
I thought she was good at the beginning.
Fight.
Yeah, I thought she was really good at the beginning of the Dynamite era here. I thought she's fell off. She doesn't. I don't think she needs to have the belt. I think that she doesn't get over to the American audience, which respects size and strength more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We want monsters.
Yeah. I could always get down with a little, ninja, you know what I mean? The super small, super athletic, person that could, spider monkey you. I'm totally down with that. You don't have to be a monster. But Riho's character, her cute little, sophomore in high school, beating up the bullies.
I was gonna say anime schoolgirl.
Yeah. I don't think it plays well in America. And I'm being totally honest. I mean, this is just one man's opinion. I know plenty of people agree with me. I know plenty of people disagree with me.
Chris Statlander. I like her. I'm a little. There's some stuff that we were just talking about a few days ago. With her taking a day off and not being able to,
Yeah. Let's get into that story. Sure what do you think? What I heard yesterday on JD's podcast. JD's my boy. JD is the reason that this is happening right now. So I heard yesterday on JD's podcast that during that appearance at Bar Wrestling, which is Joey Ryan's gig, what she ended up doing was I don't know, kissing Joey Ryan's dick, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
What? So that was the appearance that you
That's you.
couldn't fight for the second most respected women's title on the planet right now? Really?
So here's my thing. I'm kind of like, fuck you.
And I love Joey Ryan. Penis Druids, Joey Ryan, my guy. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? The laugh out loud factor, again, I love it. There has to be that in wrestling. I'm not going to go Jim Cornette, has to be super old school, has to be done one way for it to work. But Joey Ryan's my boy. But this whole situation with Chris Statlander did not play the right way.
no. I'm like, how do you do that? And
Overall, I think she is exactly what they needed to inject into this women's division that is floundering.
Yeah. I think who did they just add? Who's the?
Her,
She was
right?
sitting out in the crowd. She was sitting out in the crowd with Doctor the dentist with Baker.
Hikaru Shida.
Sheeta.
Shida. She's the girl, the woman wrestler from Japan that actually gets over with our crowd, with the American
Yeah.
audience.
She is just. Wow, I'm looking at her profile right now on Google, and she's 31 years old. She's 5'5" and 125 pounds, and she to me is the total package of the women's division right now.
Yeah, definitely. She's definitely at the top of the division. Definitely. Hikaru Shida should be there, and she is there. They're playing it the right way as far as that goes. Chris Statlander, signing her, though. The signing of Chris Statlander by AEW is great. It's perfect. She is a better in-ring performer, has a much better physique than Riho for this type of work, I believe. And I'm not a physique guy. If you got skill, you got skill. It shows. Riho does have skill. She should be on the show. She should not hold the title and be consistently beating, the much bigger woman.
Here's my whole thing, is I don't really think they have enough in their women's division right now to...
Yeah, I mean, who's ready? Who's ready to actually hold the belt
Britt
to
Baker,
do the...
I don't think performs well.
No, Britt Baker, I'll give you that. I don't like Britt Baker. I think her being the number one draft pick of AEW as far as the way they played it, no, I don't like her. She looks like she's wrestling. She looks like she's wrestling in quicksand. That's what Britt Baker looks like to me.
Oh, big time. She's literally a half a step behind, and I don't know if that's just because the women's division is so hokey and they really don't have anybody that can actually work with each other. Maybe it's because it's so new. Kong is relegated to valet duty. Don't get me started on Nyla Rose.
All right. Well, I'll go with this.
First and last podcast.
Nyla Rose, people have their problems with her for obvious reasons. In ring, she does play the powerhouse well. She does play the powerhouse well. I'll give her that.
Well, if you're a dude, of course you're going to be.
Well, we're not going to get into all that and on the podcast. Like I said, people have their problems with Nyla Rose, and we'll leave it at that.
Anyways,
the rest of the division, Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, those two deserve to be at the top of the ranking list. Every ranking from where we're sitting now.
What happened to the Finlandian chick? What was her name?
The Finnish, Bea Priestley? No, she's Australian, wasn't she?
I'm looking her up right now, and I'm going on the old.
She's the one who had the rivalry with Britt Baker so far. She gave Britt Baker a concussion in their first appearance.
Yeah. That's when we lost Allie and see, that's what I'm saying. There really is no women's division.
Allie, yeah, I think Allie is going to end up being a big part of this women's division. She's more believable in ring than Britt Baker.
Yeah, she's got to be. I
Gotta be.
mean, there's only one way to go up for the Baker's up.
I don't
I
want to
mean,
totally dog her. I don't want to drag her too bad. She's not the worst women's wrestler out there, so that's not.
I think she's got great camera personality.
Yeah.
I think she can talk. I mean, she can work a mic. I don't know if it's the competition. See, I think that's the thing that's going to come in time. I think that the
this
more
whole
they work with each other,
yeah.
those bugs will come out. But right now, yeah, it looks goofy.
Yeah. I think the women's division overall is a part of that too much cooperation in ring. You don't believe that there's two women in the ring that are actually trying to hurt each other and win a competitive, competition.
Yeah, let me see Penelope Ford go out there and whoop some ass.
Yeah, and she has definitely been underused. I think she's part of the whole Kip Sabian, bad boy rivalry going on right now. She's underused in ring.
They brought out what was her name? She came out like with doves and stuff. The Yaku Sakazaki.
The Yuka Sakazaki.
Yeah, there we go.
The magic girl.
She was like
she's cool. Yeah,
6.
she's got that same kind of Riho gimmick where she's a super little thin, little slender, little fragile thing that consistently beats bigger, stronger people. Not a fan. Happy she hasn't been back, but it was nice seeing her.
Yeah, and let me see Allie and let me see Leva Bates.
Yeah, the librarian. You want to see more Leva Bates librarian?
I'm sorry, I'm a fan of hers. She can fix me if she wants.
All right, let's wrap up that women's division overall. What do you think? Good, bad, indifferent?
Right now, I'm kind of indifferent. I think it's coming together, but yeah.
Gotcha. I think they are drastically underperforming. I thought they were going to be better. I thought that at the beginning of AEW, they said they were going to go after the best athletes, the absolute best in-ring performers, and I haven't seen that out of the women's division.
No. I see highlights, spotlights, and the whole Brandy Rhodes thing. I don't want to see her wrestle. She's not good.
Yeah. I guess we could talk Brandy Rhodes a little bit here as in ring.
She's gonna. Yeah.
We're not talking.
Part of this
match. She is going to be part of this match. We're not talking about the Nightmare Collective, but Brandy Rhodes overall, so far as an on-air personality, yes, she should be an on-air personality. In ring, I think she needs to work on a lot of things in ring, and that's what I think about Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah, her whole thing is she really needs to work on that in ring. Right now, no, and I'm not saying I can do it any better. It's just it.
Yeah, it doesn't play. It doesn't play on camera. It doesn't get over to the fan. I am the fan. I think I cover a pretty large chunk of the demographic of my demographic, and no, she doesn't play well in ring.
And I'd like to see Melanie Cruz get some more airtime.
Yeah. I mean, she's supposed to get her first match next week, so we'll hear a lot about her on the podcast to come. This match started off with a lot of hype. Hold on, let's stop right here. Irish, I need you to go into the YouTube chat and throw something up in the comments or the chat and let the people know who you are. This is Irish McNasty, everybody. He is the co-host on this here podcast. And You could see him up in the comments there. Go like, sub, do all that good stuff. Make sure you like, sub, do all that good stuff on this here podcast. I'd appreciate that. Every little thing helps.
There we go.
All right, so this match, Chris Statlander, Riho for the women's championship. Supposed to happen last week. Didn't happen. We already talked about that for various reasons. It happens here. What do you think?
I gotta go back to my feed real quick. There we go. I got you in the corner. There we go. Technology. I have problems with it sometimes.
It's all right. It's all right, my man. Everybody does.
Well, this is our first show, bro. So we'll have all these bugs worked out the next time.
Yeah. Everybody, if you're out there, if you're watching, throw up some reviews of the podcast in the comments for us. We need some help. Figure it out. Tighten it up.
Be gentle.
Don't be too gentle. We want to actually make it better. So, any comments, concerns, advice for making it better and more interesting and what you want to hear, let us know. We'll see what we can do.
Alright. So I'm switching over. I'm finally catching up to the match. Alright, so my whole thing with this match was here, if we're pushing everybody, because that's what it seems to be. It seems to be like there is no.
All right, well, before we get there, let's do it like this. I got an idea here. Let's approach this review of this match in this way. Let's take it from the beginning of the match until the run-in. What did you think?
Yeah. So here's my thing. I think that Statlander is a pretty impressive wrestler. Do I think she's on the level of like a Charlotte? Or no, but
No.
I think she's impressive. I think she's got a look. I'm not into the whole space thing, but we've already had that conversation. I will reiterate. I think the space thing is goofy as fuck.
Yeah, but at the same time, we got Luchasaurus, who everybody likes, and he's a dinosaur. So we gotta give in a little bit every now and again. I think that Statlander, the alien, I can get over it.
Dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah.
Space people suck.
Space people are cool in my book. I could dig it. We could agree to disagree, but nobody's going to like every single gimmick, so we could understand.
And then she's got bedazzled on her forehead.
Yeah, and the boop to communicate, yeah.
But I think she's a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah,
I would
this
like
match.
her
I mean,
to
there was a spot in this match where, right before the run-in, there were some things going on back and forth. Let's take it like that. There were some things happen. She did some stuff. The other one did some stuff. She did some stuff. The other one did some stuff. And then Chris had her in a spot where she had her up on her shoulders, kind of, I don't know, kind of in a rack position. And then she walked too close to the ropes.
Was this before or after she had her on the ropes?
Well, I'm talking about the part right where the interference happens when they reach under the rope and they grab her leg. It was too obvious she put herself in that position. I didn't believe it. It wasn't good enough acting for me to suspend disbelief into that happening.
Almost like that hand-twisted leg slam that Riho completely got out of there 10 minutes before she landed.
Yeah, and that all goes into the whole women's division. That all goes into the whole women's division. Being too cooperative in the ring, trying to be. I don't know what it is. I've never been a wrestler, but it doesn't look believable.
No, see, and I get it. I know it's probably hard as hell to do these moves.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I would rather see you do moves that you can do and execute repeatedly than to look clunky and unbelievable. Because that's the whole thing. We're suspending disbelief watching this.
Yeah.
So it's I want to know that you know that you can Hulk out and do this, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's like when you're blatantly missing spots, and like I said, she does this really cool like cartwheel into a leg split, and it's so wasted because it's like Rihu moves 10 minutes before the leg comes down. It's not like saved for like the last second. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. One thing
So
about
it just
Riho
looks
is
like
that
a botch.
she can take a bump. This little woman can definitely sell.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
She is a pretty impressive wrestler.
yeah. I'll give you that. And I mean, again, we've been over it. Not a big fan of Riho, but she can sell. She can take a bump. Um,
Um,
and going back to the Nightmare Collective now. Nightmare Collective. Wah, wah,
dun, dun,
wah, wah,
dun,
wah.
dun.
Positives, Mel and Awesome Kong obviously look like wrestlers. Brandy Rhodes, not a wrestler. Um, Luther, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm like. All right, so we got Luther.
All right, do you know who Luther is?
No, I have no clue.
All right, so I
Did you
also
do
last
homework?
night, I guess on accident, I found out. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Last night when it happened, had no idea who Luther was. I was like, who is this guy? He looks vaguely familiar. Um, couldn't place him. Didn't know who he was. Didn't
George the
know.
Animal Steel's little brother.
Yeah, didn't know why I cared. Okay. Yeah, Luther. Apparently, Luther is a Japanese deathmatch legend. Don't know how
Oh,
that is because
I've never heard
I'm
of
not Japanese,
him.
nor have I ever heard of him. Um, yeah, and I guess he did some other wrestling here in the States before the Japanese thing. Japanese death matches, I think, is his thing. So again, trying to sell to the Japanese audience. Don't hate it. Not gonna hate your hustle, but I don't get it.
um, no, it's there should have been some more build up. There should have been something. Why should I just automatically go? Okay, you're a deathmatch guy. Cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think this rolls right into the Butcher and the Blade debut. Much in the
Yeah.
same way, everybody in the audience seemed like they had no idea what was going on. So in the match though, Chris Statlander Riho, they have a decent one-on-one, regular, normal women's championship match to go for about 5 minutes. Not sure about the actual times here. We're not going to be too.
We're working at it's about a 10 minute match because I'm at 10 minutes into it and she's just going up from the suplex off the second rope in the corner.
Okay,
So
so about I don't know, what do you say, 6 minutes or so into it, Mel and Awesome Kong come down the ramp, make their presence known, obviously interfere, blatantly disqualifications. Disqualifications apparently are not a thing in AEW.
no, you can get
Unless somebody
disqualified
draws
all day
blood,
long.
because I mean, no, not even draws blood. The only thing I could think of was Cody taking the chair shot, but I'm pretty sure that happened. It wasn't between bells.
Yeah,
So yeah, disqualifications are not a thing, even in title matches. What do you think
yeah.
about
So
that? What do you think?
I think that's kind of ridiculous. I see what they're trying to do. I just it's disqualifications. Come on. You know,
Yeah.
it's like tags. It's just part of wrestling.
Yep. So the first, I don't know what to think here. The first actual interference was when Mel throws Riho into the guardrail, which would seem which would seem to be a disqualification. Chris Statlander wins by disqualification, but Riho retains in a normal, everyday wrestling scenario. But they let it keep going, and then right after Riho eats the rail, Chris Statlander does one of those dives and takes out Mel, and then gets back in the ring, and then does another one of those dives and takes out Awesome Kong.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Once again, we go back to the deathmatch guy.
Yeah,
So,
this is where Luther makes his appearance from under the ring, crawling out from under the ring behind Chris Statlander, and who are you, Luther?
I got a shot of the back of your head the week before.
Oh yeah, they've definitely teased Luther in a couple of episodes. Oh, I'm not sure where they were, if they were being the Elite, if they were on AEW, if they were on AEW Dark. Don't know who he is.
You gave me no reason to care about this guy.
Yeah, still don't care about him. Might care about him in the future, depends on how you play it, but you played it wrong with his debut. Awesome Kong starts
just
beating
like this
up.
whole Nightmare Collective. I don't. Why should I care about you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we're done talking about the Nightmare Collective for this podcast. I think they're one of the main reasons why the women's division isn't getting over, and that is because that it is such a main focal point in the women's division.
Yeah.
So they interfere. Riho climbs the top rope at one point after Chris Statlander gets hosed by the Nightmare Collective, and she changes her mind and flying crossbody from the top rope to Luther on the outside. So nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows who Nightmare Collective is there to help. Nobody knows who the women are there to be, friendly with. Everybody hates Nightmare Collective. Nightmare Collective imposes their will on both challengers here in the ring.
Oh, and that was my biggest problem with the whole end of that match. When Awesome Kong grabbed Statlander's feet.
Yeah, that's the spot I was talking about earlier. It didn't work. It looked too cheesy. It looked like they set it up too much.
She gets the belt, and I'm like, how?
Yep, yeah, and again, Riho wins with a roll-up.
Just fucking lazy.
Roll-up win for Riho number 73. And she retains the title. Riho keeps the title. I didn't like this. I didn't like this at all. I thought Chris Statlander should have won the title here. Or at least it have been just a clean match, man. Just a clean match between Riho and Chris Statlander here, and they show us why one of them deserved to hold the title.
Well, and then here's the thing. And then you've got, like, the rest of the women's division sitting in the crowd, and it's like, okay, why do we have to wait for them to get in? Because we all know somehow this is how it's all going to end up. The other people are going to jump in to help them out. So what are you giving me? You're giving me jack shit.
Yeah, this is one of those times where I'm actually going to dog AEW because they deserve it. Yeah, their timing is horrible. If you're gonna run in from the outside, you should be in there when people are getting their ass kicked. If Big Swole comes in 20 minutes later, runs right past people on the fucking ramp, no one cares.
Oh, here, I'm in the ring now with my big 6-inch forehead.
Right, Sunny Delight or whatever, Sunny Kiss comes in. The dude coming to protect against Luther walks right past Luther, doesn't do anything. Don't get it. Hikaru Shida coming out, being the savior over the rail. Britt Baker not giving a shit, sits there, pulls her best. Yeah, pulls her best Hangman Adam Page impression. Doesn't do a goddamn thing.
I'm like, okay. Then you have the.
See, if this is leading to a Britt Baker, aka Hangman, Lady Hangman, Britt Baker, I'm cool with that.
So she goes heel.
Yeah, if she kind of takes a page out of Hangman's book here and does
anti-hero.
The I don't give a fuck person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I might dig her more. I'm not digging her now.
Give me something to like about her.
Yeah.
So then after this is where we had, wasn't this where we had the whole turn-in on, what's her face? we were just talking about her. Turned on her man, switch sides.
Hold on. I kind of got lost in the video here.
I'm going right back. We're multitasking. We will have our technology down pat next one. I promise.
Hopefully. I'm not big on promises. Yeah, okay, so this match ends with, just pandemonium in the ring. Karushita jumps over the rail, comes in, saves from Awesome Kong, beating the hell out of everybody. Britt Baker sits back down, pulls her Hangman impression. Big Swole comes out from backstage, apparently runs right past Awesome Kong, and Brandy Rhodes gets in the ring, makes sure Statlander's okay, because they care about each other for some reason, these two Yoshi wrestlers. All right. And then Brandy Rhodes just, rounds up her collective, pushes them up the ramp, and we go back to not caring about the women's division.
Pretty much.
They have some bright spots. They do have some bright spots. They have a lot of dim spots.
Yeah, I just I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they chose to do that. I don't know who's writing their stories for the women's division. It's just, and I hope it isn't Brandy that's doing this. I hope she's not in charge of talent, because it
is brutal, but it leads into the next part on the show tonight. That's what happens next. There's a little vignette with Kip's super bad Sabian and Penelope Ford, and showing how she's been interfering in Kip's matches lately, how she had to give Joey Janela the old up and under, and
poor Joey.
Yeah,
that's
poor
a cat.
Joey. Poor Joey. Fucking Joey does nothing but give his blood, sweat, and tears, and everybody hates him, including his ex-girlfriend, who wants to make sure he doesn't have babies anymore, apparently.
Poor Joey. Why can't this guy get some airtime and get a win, not get his nuts scrapped?
Right? Yeah. Shout out to Zach Myers, by the way. Shine down. Guitarist in the front row tonight.
Oh, hell yeah.
That leads into this next match here. Sammy Guevara against Christopher Daniels. Sammy Guevara, is he getting over?
You know what? I think he's getting over more now that he ditched the Panda bullshit.
Yeah, Inner Circle Sammy versus Mexican Panda Sammy.
Yeah, the Panda thing, I didn't like that at all. I was like, how are you saying that this guy is good? He looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean he's a heel.
He reminded me of what's his name, Wonderkind, Alex Wonderkind.
The Wunderkind.
With the way he would come out and do his little moves, and I'm like, are you serious? This is what I'm watching? I
agree. Sammy Guevara is much better as Inner Circle Sammy Guevara than Mexican Panda Sammy Guevara. The Spanish God version of Sammy Guevara is definitely better. Christopher Daniels, what can you say about the OG Christopher Daniels?
No, that's my dude, man. I've fucking loved Christopher Daniels since way back.
I've loved Christopher Daniels as four different versions of Christopher Daniels.
Exactly.
Yeah, this guy is a legend. Not
blood,
a lot of
sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
he's given to this business.
Yeah, and you could see it with his bum wheel that he walks down to the ring with every day. You think that's a fancy walking style? No, that's just a mask for that wheel he's got that gives him a pretty nasty limp.
See, I think guys like here's another guy. I hope he's doing all right wherever he's at. But guys like him and Just Incredible never got the love they should have got.
Shout out, just incredible. I believe he was on a um Chris Van Vliet episode recently.
Yes, just recently.
Chris Van
Yes.
Vliet. Oh,
Fleet?
he's another one of those guys. Don't miss an interview. You are doing your
No.
thing, brother.
No. I love it. I love the show. I love the show.
Christopher Daniels with the whole storyline that they're playing right now with him botching the Arabian moonsault. What do you think? Is it a work? Did he really botch that move?
You know, here's the thing. That's why I said I'm wondering where they're going with this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've watched it a couple
Because
times now. That move, I think he's such a good talent that nobody knows. That's what I think. I think he's that good. The way he does certain things is the way it should be done, where you don't know. You don't know. It looks real, so you don't know.
exactly, exactly. You're always second guessing. You're like,
Funnily enough, that is the angle here. He is second guessing. Can he land his moves?
is that leg gonna hold out?
Yeah.
Oh my God, JR just losing his shit on the side.
This match is pretty good. I mean, Sammy does the normal chicken shit moves he does. Pull the ref in, get in between them, stop. Classic chicken shit stuff. He's a good heel. I like Sammy as Inner Circle Sammy.
Yeah, he's grown on me. Like I said, when he first came out with the stupid panda head, and I was like, oh my God, please make it stop. Just make it stop. I hope this isn't going to be the life of it. Yeah.
Here's one thing about a match. Sammy Guevara, you need to invest in some new gear. I'm way too sick of seeing his ass cheeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He has
Definitely.
a wedgie problem out there for 2 weeks in a row, and I'm not digging it. He's supposed to be a part of the Inner Circle. These are rookie mistakes.
Oh, definitely. Spray tan that shit down or whatever she admits it. That super glue shit. We don't
Christopher
need to be here.
Christopher Daniels works this match like he works every match. Solid. No problems with Christopher Daniels. Pentagon Jr. makes his presence known. Gets throwback to an angle he has with Christopher Daniels that I think this works. I think him coming out and interfering, reminding people that Christopher Daniels doesn't just have a feud with Sammy going on right now, but there is still a feud with Penta.
Yeah, they're see, those guys. I fucking love Penta. This whole AEW tag team division is just nothing but fantastic, strong wrestlers.
Oh yeah, overall tag team division in AEW so far is probably the best performing tag team division, I'd say.
It's
And they're
hands down.
strong. Just imagine when the Revival make it here.
Don't tease.
Yeah, that's you heard it here. 145th. The Revival should be here pretty soon.
Don't tease. I'm counting on waiting on hands and knees, pins and needles. Just let me see them actually get some time. They were used for shit in WWE. WWE has this habit of just destroying wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you get good guys and then you do shit with them. It's yeah. Can you tell it frustrates the hell out of me? Because I used to
Well, here's a
love the
question.
show.
Here's a question. Do you think the Revival fit AEW?
I think so. I think so.
I think the Revival fit AEW better than any place else.
Because
Now, if they're going to get the money, if they're going to get everything they need to be happy in life, to be able to sign somewhere and be comfortable, who knows? But they fit AEW better than anywhere else.
Well, yeah, because it's that style of wrestling. That's like, you know, I here's my problem. When WWE took over WCW in the very beginning, and a lot of those wrestlers weren't getting used. The Chris Benoits, the Perry Saturns, you know, the Dean Malenkos. They went over to WWE and then got fucked there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, WWE is where personal gimmicks go to die. I mean, they just, even people coming up from NXT, they ruin their own talent. So, I mean, it is what it is.
You know, and my thing is like with AEW, I feel it's a little bit more like that old school wrestling program where like I'm seeing these guys like a team like the Revival can come over and they can really thrive because you can see
Yeah,
what they do as
yeah,
opposed to being lumped into some fucking pile of shit with all these other wrestlers where they fucking handpick, oh, well, now you're going to be working with this guy, and now we're going to put you in fucking stupid clothes and give you some fucking dumbass idea for a fucking gimmick, and we're going to push you for 3 weeks. If it doesn't go over, you're going back to NXT or you're fucking done, kid. See you later.
I think I think the AEW tag team division is definitely the bright spot. It's their bread and butter right now. It's carrying the flag. That's what I think.
Even with no tags.
Yeah, even with no tags, there's a lot of stuff to clean up for sure. There's definitely a lot of stuff that needs retooling, but yeah. So this match, Penta comes in, distracts Christopher
I,
Daniels, and
you know
Sammy
what?
Guevara gets the W
I
immediately.
I like Sammy's in ring. I like Sammy's in ring.
And let's
I
not
love
forget here,
his.
Sammy Guevara has started off the year 2-0. So is he getting the push?
I love his chest stomp when he comes off the top rope and puts both feet right in your freaking pecs. You know what? That looks like it hurts.
Yeah, Sammy
He's
works.
he does, you know, and it's like that's the thing. Um, I like I said, I wasn't sure on him when he came out with the panda bear crap and all that goofy,
Well, he gets the win here over
south of the
Christopher
border wrestling
Daniels.
stuff.
He gets the win over Christopher Daniels, and then the Dark Order. Little mini intro. Dark Order come in again. How do you feel about the Dark Order?
um, I'm still on the fence. I love
Well,
their drop-ins. Their drop-ins. I mean, when they do their little commercials, the
their
vignettes.
vignettes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, their
I think
vignettes are fucking spot on.
yeah, I think their vignettes are the bright spot of their everything right now. That's the best part of Dark Order. Um, let's get back to this Hangman thing. This is where I think you're wrong. I don't think Hangman is the dude in the purple mask because the purple mask guy comes to the ring tonight and he's much too tall. I think he's too tall, too slender. I think Purple Mask Man is none other than Brandon Cutler.
Really?
That's what I think.
See, here's they
Because
do the
Brandon
run-in.
Cutler, he's been jobbing. After the shows, Brandon Cutler's been getting pinned by little kids for the amusement of the elite. And Dark Order's whole gimmick is, are you tired of losing? Join somebody who can make you a winner.
You
Brandon
know what?
Cutler, Brandon Cutler fits that to a T. And the Beaver Boys. The Beaver Boys, last week they joined. This week they come out showing their faces to begin with, pull their mask down. Don't get it, Beaver Boys.
I'm still trying to figure out their whole shtick. You know,
It's working. I
like
mean, they're getting
I
they're getting what
I
they need to. They're,
like I said, I love the idea. I like the comic book kind of as evil bad guy. The the two of them as a tag team, I think, are phenomenal.
yeah, they're good in-ring performers, the Beaver Boys.
You know, I I don't want to see Daniels go heel again, though. I'm so
Well,
tired
they
of
offer him the mask here, and he looks like he's considering it for a second, and then throws it in their face. Gets jumped by the Dark Order, including Purple Mask, who you think is Hangman and I think is Brandon Cutler. And then the rest of SCU comes in, and followed shortly after by the Young Bucks run-ins here. They even out the
see.
numbers a little bit.
See.
SCU, the tag team champions right now of AEW. Well deserved. They should have those titles. They have them.
And I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that they didn't drop the titles to him before Christmas.
Oh, you think? I don't. I'm kind of torn on that. At the time, I was thinking the Young Bucks were gonna get their titles for Christmas dinner, and obviously SCU pulled it off. They're still the champions. I like both. I like both. I like that. You know,
Yes.
obviously, I like the Young Bucks. We'll get into them at some point here, maybe in the future, maybe tonight, whatever. SCU, they made their appearance here. SCU, Scorpio Sky, Sky's the
Here comes
limit.
Scorpio. Yep.
Frankie
Here comes the
Kazarian.
Young Bucks jumping in, kicking some ass, taking some names. Is it a super kick party tonight?
One thing, they come in full gear, so I'm not sure if they performed on Dark tonight. We'll see next week. Scorpio Sky, like I said, Sky's
Hey,
the limit.
what's your thing about the whole dark?
What, AEW Dark? I love it. I love
I
it.
think that's fabulous that you actually give people another spot to watch wrestling
Yeah,
and
yeah, and
give
I
them
mean,
another full show.
like we've said, AEW, we can't get enough so far. We just can't get enough.
And once again, you got diving out of the ring.
What is this number 7, 8, 9, 10, 42? Dive number 76 tonight.
Yeah, I was waiting for them to get like everybody to give like Christopher Daniels a little step up so that he could actually dive too.
But Christopher Daniels did get his spot. He did pull the step
He
up
did,
moonsault or whatever they
yeah, the
call that.
top rope moonsault.
Yeah, the step up moonsault. He did pull it. He did pull it. So did Christopher Daniels get his groove back? That's the question leaving this match here.
Well, hopefully we'll see some more. I mean, it's
Yeah, we're definitely going to find out. This isn't one of those things that there's going to be a plot hole on. Young Bucks obviously coming out to help their boy Christopher Daniels and their boys SCU. Yeah, and that's basically it. Sammy Guevara gets the win after Penta's interference. Once again, another melee breaks out in the ring, and that brings us to what was the next match here? I don't remember
next
off the
one
top of my
is
head. What was it? Lucha Brothers, I think, right?
should be Lucha and
The brothers, Cody and
right.
Dustin, I think. Yeah, yeah.
What about Dusty?
Who's gonna help Dusty? Oh yeah, it's classic. What was that on? That was on a Stone Cold podcast. If you don't know, you need to know. All right, so that brings us into the Lucha Brothers against the actual brothers. Well, actually, they're both actual brothers, aren't they? Lucha
Yeah, I
and
do believe so.
Pentagon and Phoenix. I do believe they're actual brothers. And Dustin
Are they
Rhodes and
brothers or
Cody Rhodes.
cousins?
No, they're brothers.
All right.
Um, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Lucha Brothers?
I since they debuted, I'm freaking when they were just doing the pay-per-views, bro. I fucking loved them. I love their stuff in uh, uh, Underground.
Yeah, Lucha Underground. I was just about to say I've followed Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix since Lucha Underground. Love them, absolutely love them.
You know,
They're probably
I,
one of the top 3 tag teams in the world right now.
I just fucking these guys have always fucking really impressed me. Just their whole attitude towards in ring working. It's
Well,
I'm impressed.
they need a little help with the tags. We've already been there. Um, Cody and Dustin. My thoughts on Cody and Dustin are
In Mexico, it's an option, bro.
optional. Exactly. There's a lot of things that are optional in Mexico. Um, Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes. I think their one-on-one match that they had within the year here, one of the best matches I've ever seen. When Dustin
and then
Rhodes
you got a
was
four horseman in your corner.
yeah, and I'm not. I mean, not just this match, but the match that Cody versus Dustin, when Dustin was dropping buckets of blood out there. That was probably one of the best matches, one of the best builds, one of the best conclusions I've ever seen for an actual wrestling rivalry.
You're my brother.
My brother.
My brother.
Shout out to VTE. Man, you could tell. We have seen, me and my buddy Irish here, we have seen every single BTE episode, every single Sammy Guevara vlog, every single anything, every single Road to on the Nightmare channel, and every single Road to on the AEW channel.
Cooked with brandy.
See, there we disagree again. I have never watched Cooking with Brandy. Not my cup of tea. But actually, no, I take that back. I have watched the one with MJF because I could not get enough MJF.
No, MJF is man.
All right.
Listen, we'll wait until he shows up doing his spiel, because that was one of my highlights of the night was MJF.
Gotcha.
Every show is one of my highlights. All right, but so you got the brothers against the Luchadors. Which here's my thing. First off, I just think the Luchadors are already outclass Cody and Dustin.
Well, I mean, this is a meeting of the worlds here. You know what I mean? Dustin and Cody are known. They are. Well, let's start here. Cody, I think, is the superstar that has been made by AEW. I don't think Cody Rhodes has been a superstar up until this point, but now he is. Dustin has been a superstar 3 times over at this point. Goldust, obviously, everybody knows Goldust. Lucha Brothers are on their way up to being superstars, but they are already superstars in the wrestling world. You understand?
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Arn Anderson, let's bring it back there. Arn Anderson is the coach of the Nightmare family. What do you think about that?
Being a fan of the bad guys, I grew up absolutely loving the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, Arn Anderson's OG.
Arn and Ole, there were nobody better in that ring when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And then you had the high styling, profiling, Rick.
Yeah, listen, I mean,
as a kid, because everybody wanted to like the heroes, everybody loved the Von Erichs, everybody, just those gold. Yeah, fuck those guys. That's why I loved Ric Flair and the Beast. Arn Anderson was just a monster. We go back to the Revival. That's what those guys remind me of.
Yeah, I've loved every incarnation of the Four Horsemen, so I agree with you there. But more than that, I think Arn Anderson fits perfect in this role. Perfect. The way he plays it, this role so far, it's
as
perfect.
A mentor, as a
ring man. I mean, he comes out there, he kicks the chair out of Phoenix's hand tonight. He plays his role to a T.
Yeah, he's on top of his game.
Definitely.
You know, and he was just he's doing a podcast or something that I was just listening to.
Yeah, Arn Anderson. Yeah, I've listened to it a couple times. It's good stuff.
Him and Flair don't really talk anymore.
Yeah, but he's told stories where Flair was the only one that showed up in the hospital room for him a couple times too. So, you know, bonds like that, you don't need to see each other and talk to each other all the time anymore. You know,
Well,
stuff like that
that's
happens.
kind of what he
Especially
said.
especially between men. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. You know what? I can catch up with buddies I haven't seen in 10 years, and I don't have to like call every weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like we haven't, it's like we haven't skipped a beat. So I completely get that. I thought it was weird because these guys were like inseparable for like ever. I think once all that stuff what happened with WWE and Arn, I think that kind of drew
I think that might have been the
the
best thing for
space.
both parties involved. Now,
Well,
Arn is definitely
I
doing
love
it.
what Arn's doing. I love his whole. Come on, and then to have
The way he holds his piece of paper over his mouth when he's giving advice, classic. I
just like
mean,
he's throwing
perfect.
like he's a coach calling plays. It's fucking awesome.
Perfect. It's what a ring man should do. What do you think about Penta's his whole glove spot where he just throws it all down, pulls his glove off one finger at a time, throws it over his shoulder. Phoenix catches it. I dig it. I mean, gets the crowd
It's
involved.
it's what they do. That's their whole big thing is the spectacle in lucha wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's just it's all part of the whole gimmick. So I've always been a fan. The telenovela Lucha Underground, that was always kind of hard to watch, but
Yeah, happening in its own universe, that kind of
but
stuff.
yeah, but as long as they were in ring, I was happy.
Yeah. And even in ring in
I,
this match, man, what I was real happy about was the way that Dustin played that knee, man. He played it like a pro. Pick a body part, work a body part, and he's selling the body part like a pro.
See, and I don't think that's done enough anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree with you. I think that they should do a lot more of that and a lot less of the diving.
Exactly. Can you tell me that one of these guys isn't aerial athletic?
Once again, though, Dustin Rhodes is the bright spot of a match he's involved in. What do you think about Dustin's performance so far in AEW?
All right, here's my thing. I liked Goldust before he was Goldust.
When he was the natural.
I loved him as Dusty's kid.
Yeah,
He couldn't
natural
get over.
Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, he could not get over in anything other than WCW. So when he broke out with that Terry Reynolds gold kick, I was like, ugh. I get why you're doing it. I don't understand.
I
But
dig
Terry Reynolds
Goldust.
was hot to look at.
Yeah, Terry Reynolds was a looker.
So it made it palatable. So him coming over here and being able to wrestle again, for me, is fucking awesome because it's like he's at that point in his career like Undertaker.
But not just wrestling. He is wrestling well. He is not looking like an older man. He's out there looking like a real pro.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't look weak
looks
out
like
there.
He deserves to be there.
And
that match with him and his brother was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I said,
he bled like a stuffed pig.
One of the best matches I've ever seen. And I mean, granted, I haven't seen them all, but one of the best I've seen.
I just like the way I love the way he works.
Yeah.
He plays that off. When he's trying to amp up the crowd, he's banging on the mat. He's really getting you in there. He's getting psyched up to get that, forge up enough strength to get that last tag. You don't see that kind of working anymore.
No. Yeah, not anymore, man. It's a dying art, and he is, they're super lucky to have him. I think,
to show these youngsters.
One thing I really notice every single time he's in the ring is just how big he is as a person. You know what I mean? When he was in WWE, that kind of gets lost because everybody's a monster, everybody's huge, everybody's 6'6", but in the ring here, he looks like a
really
big
looks big.
imposing figure, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's showing that when large individuals against regular size individuals, like I'm sure Phoenix is, I don't think Phoenix is that big of a dude. You know what I mean? It shows, and it plays.
Yeah. You can, and see, that's the thing. And that was one of the reasons why I was getting really tired of WWE. It's like everybody's big. There is no David Goliath thing. There is no, and I got really tired of that Rey Mysterio thing because he was like the shortest guy. So anytime it was a fucking David Goliath fucking bullshit.
Right. Rey Mysterio, Rushmore man, he's one of those.
It's like anytime fucking Mysterio's in a match, you're fucking in a goddamn Davey Goliath match. But like with Dustin, he's always able to actually be athletic.
Yeah, he is an athletic big man. I mean, he pulled in a Canadian Destroyer this week. This is one of those spots. I mean, trust me, Canadian Destroyers. I'll talk about it till I'm blue in the face. It should be a high drama moment when it's pulled. Last week, the Canadian Destroyer he pulled last week on the apron was beautiful, but pulling another one this week in ring, I didn't mind it, but I didn't think it was the right call. I think that they should protect the Canadian Destroyer. Again, I'll say it again.
Yeah, the Canadian Destroyer has kind of lost its impact.
But this match overall, Lucha Brothers do what they do. They're great. They're phenomenal. Cody Rhodes shows that he is a superstar. Dustin Rhodes shows why he's there. He's a true pro.
And here we go. We're in the, this is it. So Dustin puts him in the fucking, does the finisher. They get out of the match.
Well, before that, I just want to mention the running top rope running kick that Phoenix does, where he runs along the rope. What kind of human can actually do that? This guy is a freak. He's an athletic freak.
He literally jumps over, lands on the rope, runs down the rope.
Yeah, he's a stud.
That is just phenomenal. The guys work. The guys really work. I mean, you see this stuff, and you're just impressed because it's like they know where they're at all times. Like, there was a couple times where you've seen Cody messed up a move. It happens. But Lucha just, he
yeah. And a subtle shout out there to Arn Anderson himself with Dustin pulling the backbreaker. Loved it.
Oh, yeah.
The spine buster, I mean. Sorry.
The spine buster.
Don't kill me out there, wrestling fans.
The Arn Anderson spine buster.
For
that
the
was
win.
the only spine buster you can literally, your teeth fucking hurt.
Exactly. Suspending disbelief. Believing that these moves actually hurt and can render a guy useless for 3 seconds while he gets pinned.
It's amazing. It's amazing to watch these guys work. And then here we have the pin. So Dustin puts his finisher on, which has always been a fucking sweet finisher. I don't think it ever got the props that it should have got.
Oh, you mean the kick to the balls when he throws his legs in between the ropes?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's his thing. It's his thing, man.
There was magic when Goldust used to work.
Yeah, I've Goldust, Dustin Rhodes as a whole, true pro. And then, all right, I mean, there we go. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, spine buster, pin for the win. And then we go into a little in-ring interview.
With Lenny Poffo first is the backstage one where they're doing the whole.
Oh yeah, Macho Man's brother. Leaping.
Little shout out to fellow Illinoisans.
Yeah, Memphis wrestling. That's what it was all about. A couple of legends in the crowd there tonight.
I was pretty impressed.
Yep, it was a nice shout out. And that whole thing about them doing it just to sell tickets because it was not selling well. Yeah, that's what, have you seen the wrestling business? That's what they do. They do things to sell tickets. Everything they do is to sell tickets. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow.
Asses in seats.
How can anybody have anything to say about that, man? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's called asses in seats for a reason.
But Lanny Poffo does say something in that interview that catches my attention. He says he's excited to connect himself to the AEW brand, something along those lines. So is there going to be a relationship here?
Are we going to see more of the Leapin' Lanny?
Yeah, I hope so. It remains to be seen. Little something, like I said, little something I picked up on in that little interview. Could be something, could be nothing. Hope it's something. And then we go into the interview in ring where Tony Schiavone.
Pause my screen, just so I'd be ready for this. Here comes our guy.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone, the man. He's in ring asking Cody questions. This has been their thing for a couple weeks running now. Whenever Cody has something to say to the fans in the house, Schiavone walks down to the ring. But instead of answering this time, the manager, the enforcer himself, takes control. Like I said, playing his role perfectly.
He does. He is that statesman. He's the elder statesman. He knows what the hell he's doing. He's quite comfortable behind the mic. You know what you're getting when you get Arn out there.
Yeah.
You are getting a ring master.
I mean, WWE, they made a mistake by letting him go, but best thing that could have possibly happened to him at that time, I think.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And he finishes it all off with we're gonna discuss it and we're gonna get back to you next week. That was the final answer there to the question of will Cody agree to the stipulations MJF has set forth.
And I love how it's like they're really working this.
And this kind of rolls into that whole question about the on-air authority figure. An on-air authority figure could come in right now and solve this whole issue. Not that it's an issue, it's definitely part of the storyline they're rocking here, but an on-air leadership personality would fit in right now.
Right. Bring in Taz. Get Taz's ass in there.
One more thing that I like about that Taz idea, and again, it's just a rumor, what my idea for Taz would be to put him at the table. I mean, if people are having such a problem with JR at the table and maybe JR wants to shift roles a little bit, or, whoever it may be, Taz can be he could fulfill that role at the table and be an announcer as well, so that everything can have more continuity, so that he could be at the table explaining things that are questions right there on the spot. Boom, done.
Exactly.
That would be a great idea. A great idea, as far as I'm concerned. But again, never booked a professional wrestling show in my life, so could be wrong.
I can't say that I'm a professional. I'm just an avid watcher and fan.
Right. I've only played one on TV.
Or on PlayStation.
But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. And then that leads into the next little thing going on here, which is MJF coming in, walking down the ramp, holding up his ring, kiss the ring, you know, peasants. His whole
I fucking love it.
Super heel. Oh yeah, I love it. MJF is the man. He's the man.
Just the way that he works the whole angle, the fact that, you know, oh my God, even back from the YouTube videos where he makes a little kid cry. This shit is awesome.
I've seen that video and I absolutely love it. I mean, throwback to a couple weeks ago when he turns on Cody and he gets a beer bath walking up the ramp. I mean, that's classic heel heat. You gotta love it. This guy is the complete package, man. I love MJF. And I still want to punch him in the face. You know what I mean? It's beautiful.
Don't you have that scarf?
I do have that scarf. A real one. A real one. Not not one of the MJF scarves. I have an actual Burberry scarf. Well before I heard of MJF, so.
So you didn't get it from protease.com?
No, not at all. But
Shout out to protease.com. I like free gear too.
I'm also an asshole, so I guess it's just a Burberry scarf thing. If you own a real Burberry scarf, you are an asshole.
I have Burberry glasses. I guess that makes me part asshole.
Speaking of him being an asshole, how about him coming to ringside and giving Rock and Roll Express the finger because they wouldn't kiss his ring?
And smacks the one fan with the sign. I mean, just the way he interacts.
Classic, beautiful.
So
Everything
awesome.
he does. He's underused so far on the show. They should, in my opinion, what they should be doing is having him come in and just, 4-minute squash matches. Him destroying people, showing his in-ring work right now leading up to this story.
And he's fucking with all the Memphis guys, just walking past all the old guys, just giving shit.
I completely agree with my guy JD from NY on this whole MJF. They should give him his screen time in the first hour, and the second hour have him go out there and squash somebody real quick. One of the Beaver Boys would be perfect.
Yeah, just because he is entertaining. Build up that mistake. Make him the what the hell is his name? Give me a second. The hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. Persona.
He's doing his thing. He's doing his own thing too. I mean, he's got bits and pieces of everything. He's definitely got a little Jericho. He's got a little this, got a little that, but he's doing his own thing and it's working. It's working really, really well. And he deserves what I heard the other day, that they ripped up his original contract and hit him with a new 5-year deal.
Yeah, those two interacting, and then you get DDP that comes out.
DDP?
Which, you know what? This is not going to be a popular thing. I'm sure he's probably... I mean, fuck the shit he's done for, Jake the Snake. I'm sure he's probably the sweetest guy.
He's legitimately saved lives, man, at this point.
His gimmick. I've never liked his character one day for 1 second out of any of the years that he wrestled.
Yeah. But he's a Hall of Famer, He's a Hall of Famer. He's been there. He's done that. He is who he is.
That whole post, it's me, it's me. It was like mouth vomit. I always, he was one of those guys like nails on a chalkboard. He was that, he's the Miz. He is the fucking Miz to me.
Well, aside from your dislike from DDP, the crowd loves him, man. The crowd loves him.
He gets over.
He's over.
Always gotten over. He has always gotten over, and I never got it. I was like,
well, neither does MJF, because he comes out and he gets on the mic and he goes through his thing, and MJF just goes to the corner, pulls out his cell phone, starts telling people on YouTube that he's better than them, and they know it. Goes on Twitter telling people that even his fans that they're dumb. That's what MJF does. But that's what he's doing during DDP on the mic. He's just standing in the corner on his cell phone.
He is
Perfect
so
MJF.
fucking awesome.
He's great.
That
I love him, man. Once again, everything this kid does is gold. He knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and he's working
he
it
knows
to
how to work it.
perfection.
He's just amazing. He is amazing at this, and it shows. It shows. He is going to be a very, like we were saying, he's going to be a very, very big star. You know, barring any kind of accidents or anything like that, this guy is just going. Everybody's gonna know his name.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's already starting. You know, it's gonna take a while for everybody to catch on. You know what I mean? But the smart marks, everybody knows who this guy is.
All right, so.
Well, then we get into the part where he says DDP's giving him the business. MJF comes out and then he pulls the line, man. He says he's gonna take one of Diamond's daughters and then throws up the Diamond sign and says, "Bang!" Classic. Best part of the night. Fucking hilarious.
And of course, now it's time for DDP to get his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, here comes the Butcher and the Blade, right? Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. What do you think about the Butcher and the Blade getting buried by a old timer?
I don't know. They're giving him a lot of love. That's cool. My favorite is.
But does the love warrant ruining? Ruining a couple of people you just brought in a very dramatic way. Now they're buried.
Yeah, because an old guy just kicked their ass.
Exactly. Are you going to be able to take them serious anymore?
No. If you ever listen to JR try to introduce him, you can never call Butcher and the Blade the Blade.
And Wardlow, man, even Wardlow had the worst vignettes ever invented in the history of vignettes. And then he comes in and does nothing, doesn't say a word. He's just a big imposing force. Hasn't had a match yet. Not a big fan of the way they introduced Wardlow here. I mean, in general, in AEW.
And of course, the whole Cody Rhodes Foundation comes out to fucking help DDP. It's not Cody, but it's
the Nightmare Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Dustin comes out there hopping along, still selling the leg. Still selling the leg. Not even the same segment.
About Dustin?
What about Dusty? Who's gonna protect Dusty? Yeah.
All right.
So there's my call out, man.
With these commercial breaks, though, really quick. That's the one thing I wanted to touch down. Is okay if you're gonna go and start matches and start shit. Okay, you can't do it in fucking commercial breaks.
You mean with the picture-in-picture or just their timing?
With the picture-in-picture and the timing of their commercial breaks.
Yeah,
you're either gonna have to. They gotta figure out how to get that shit straight.
That's one of their huge downfalls so far is their timing issues. I'm kind of torn on the commercial breaks and the picture-in-picture aspect because obviously we can't get enough AEW, so I like the picture-in-picture for that. But
the timing.
Yeah, the timing is horrible. At this point, I'd almost just rather go to commercials. You know what I mean? Just straight commercials, no picture-in-picture. That way they're forced to work on their timing.
Set up the match. Yeah, well, that's true too. Then they have to revolve around that second time. Yeah, because it just sucks. Because it's like there's times where Luchasaurus came out. Everybody comes out. I can't hear any of that shit because I'm in a commercial break.
Yeah, the only two times that I've actually really appreciated the picture-in-picture on commercial break is the MJF intro when he's walking around the ring just being a dick, because you don't need to hear that, you know what I mean? He's just walking around the ring being a dick. when he's coming out for his little microphone sessions. And the other
Right.
time when it's okay is the Sammy Guevara spot, man, with the cue cards. Beautiful. Genius. When Sammy Guevara comes out there during the picture-in-picture commercial break with cue
They
cards,
played that well.
it's
But then
perfect.
that even got fucked up.
Yeah,
Because half of that got cut off. Because remember, they had to put that on an All Elite show.
exactly. Yeah. But
So,
that's all in the timing. You know what I mean? That's their timing issues. They need to work this stuff out because they're going to start losing fans if they don't clean it up. Not that it's supposed to be perfect, but it's supposed to be better.
and here comes the good best friends with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, that brings us to our next match, I guess, here, huh? We have the
Jungle Boy,
Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus.
The man, the 65-billion-year-old legend, Luchasaurus.
You know what? He got over, and I'm so glad he did.
Well, let me take it back because something just popped in my head here. That last MJF DDP encounter, apparently that's going to lead to a match next week with DDP wrestling alongside Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall against
that's right.
MJF and the Butcher and the Blade. What do you think
Which
about DDP
should look
making
good.
his return? What do you think about DDP wrestling again in general? Because I'm kind of torn, you know. They said that this wasn't going to be a network revolved around the legends like WWE has tried to use to revive their dying fan base so often in the recent past.
I don't want to see it. I'm tired.
Oh man, I'm not sure. I kind of want to see it. But I'm dreading that it might be a train wreck. You know what I mean? If it's a train wreck and it's bad, I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Like another Undertaker match where Undertaker can't even pull off. I don't want to see it.
Oh yeah. I don't really want to talk about that because it's a sore spot. Undertaker is my all-time favorite wrestler ever, #1 on my list, and I felt so bad for that Goldberg match.
Yes, it was hard to watch. I was sitting there and I was cringing because I'm like, wow, this is like fucking. This is embarrassing. I was like, one of the guys that I fucking absolutely love, and you're gonna do this to him.
Yeah, I think it totally took away from the dynasty that is Undertaker. I don't even care about Goldberg. He was what he was, you know what I mean? He hurt a lot of people in the ring as far as I'm concerned. But Undertaker, I felt bad.
Yeah, I really did, because I was like, you're going to stop. See, and that was the other thing. And I know he's a team player, so he wanted to get rid of the streak. But why? Why did you have to?
Yeah, man,
Why
I
did you
don't know.
have to?
Well, are you talking about when Undertaker lost his streak at WrestleMania?
To Triple H. Triple H, you fucking greedy fucking prick, you, Triple H.
Yeah, I believe he lost his next one to Brock Lesnar as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think that was the very next year where he had the concussion and doesn't really remember the match.
That's the fucking thing that just fucking pisses me off about WWE and fucking Triple H just destroying people to make himself look good, and that fucking drives me up a wall. But now let's go back to AEW. Let's go back to this Luchasaurus guy. No.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for.
And he would never get a shot in WWE. And he is just, once again, jumping over ropes, doing fucking dives.
He's killing the game, man. Luchasaurus is way over. He's so over. He is he doesn't even have to do anything, man. All he has to do is walk out, hit that ramp, and the crowd love it.
Here's my one thing, though. My one criticism, and I don't have many of them. I would like to see him be more of a big man than the samurai ninja kicking.
Yeah, that's one of my main criticisms too. Is that although the kicks are cool, although half of them look believable, too much.
Yeah,
He's going. It doesn't look organic. It doesn't look like it's what's actually happening. There's too many kicks. It's cool to pull a big one out every now and again, but the 6 kick combos 3 different times, not a big fan.
No, and it's not believable.
Jungle Boy, what do you think about Jungle Boy?
You know what? I'm impressed. I mean, and it's funny because, yeah, it's hard to get over the fact that that's, Perry's kid and all.
Yeah.
But it's just as much as he's done to actually.
Yeah, he's making his own way here, man.
Wrestling.
It seems like he really is making his own way here. I like him. Marco Stunt. He's very controversial at this point in the wrestling game, I guess. What do you think?
Marco Stunt is growing on me.
Yeah, I like him, man. I like him. I think he deserves to be there. He belongs there. The things he's doing, he's playing the little man well. He's not trying to act like he's a big man and he could actually physically compete with these guys. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys where the destroyer. It's believable because he's not going to be a feet planted kind of guy, but that doesn't mean you land 2 Canadian destroyers every time you hit the ring.
All right. So do we go to the elephant in the room right now?
Do it.
Do we talk about how great Orange Cassidy is?
Orange Cassidy, another controversial figure right now, man, in the wrestling game. It's Marco Stunt and Orange Cassidy it seems like the 2 guys that people believe don't belong in wrestling. On the other hand, I love him. Orange Cassidy's the man. I cannot wait until he pulls the 450 because his gimmick is either he can't be bothered and he does the thing he pulled in this match where he just went limp and fell off the top rope, or they push him in a corner. He does care, and he's a really, really good wrestler, and he's going to show that.
I'm sorry, but as long as there's been wrestling, there's always, because I know how certain people feel about this gimmicky wrestling bullshit. We've listened to certain people talk about how shitty this gimmicky wrestling
right
is.
But on the scale from Santino Marella to Colt Cabana, he's much more Colt Cabana than he is Santino Marella.
I like him. I fucking love him. I love the goofy fucking suit. I like his goofy kick bullshit. I like the falling off the top rope.
Oh yeah, the going limp, corpsing when you're standing straight up on the top rope. Beautiful for his gimmick. It's so fucking funny.
It's just the whole I can't be bothered attitude. The hands in the pockets as he does this.
Right? And once again, I cannot wait until the moment where someone is just lighting him up. You know what I mean? How his whole gimmick is, if you haven't seen him in the indies, is that's what he does. He can't be bothered. He walks in, can't be bothered, hands in his pockets, and then someone lights him the fuck up. And then he gets pissed, and then he wrestles fast, real strong, and he's gonna. Yeah. I cannot wait for the moment when he goes to the top rope and pulls the 450, and it looks beautiful, and the crowd erupts.
When they actually get to see the great of the great, yeah, exactly. Oh, it's like, and this is what, once again, it goes back to why I am such a big fan of AEW. It's because I am not force-fed the same shit week after week.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
And just with a different face. And let's see. You know what? I'd really like to see Ryback come over.
Yeah, Ryback's one of those guys. He's definitely one of those guys I want to see in AEW sooner rather than later.
I'm liking the fact that a little guy like Marco Stunt could get a big story.
Oh yeah, and I mean, there's your 13 to 17-year-old demographic where it's like, hey, that's a little kid out there. I could do this. You know what I mean?
I like the fact that you got that whole mixed match genre. This is what WCW used to be so good at, is because then you got to see people's actual mic skills. You got to see who could talk on mic. You got to see who could perform in ring. It's like I think that's the most fun I've had with a wrestling show in quite a long time. And it's like, I think we were even saying this off camera, saying how this is our first show. We couldn't have really said it before, but it's like um, the that women's match was the biggest damper of this whole
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If anybody has a
episode.
bad review about tonight, it is that the women's match, as an entirety from start to finish, it was the down.
Because every week these shows have been getting stronger. Yeah, they do. They're going to have their mixed matches. They're going to have their ups and their downs. But on a consistent level, these shows have been stronger every week.
I look forward to a year from now, man, when we actually see what their whole roster is looking like, when a lot of the storylines are a little more played out. I think it's going to be
And
strong, man.
people are free agents.
Oh, not even getting to that. We'll save that for the end of this podcast here. What do you think about the best friends minus Orange Cassidy?
I was never a fan of their spiel.
I think Trent. I think Trent is he's the better of the two. I like some stuff Chucky does. Some stuff Chucky does is it annoys me, but I think they're pretty over. I think they work well as a tag team and as a trio.
Well,
I
I
think
used to like Chuck.
Trent is the guy out that looks like he looks the part. He looks like a wrestler.
Yeah, I liked Chuck back in the day. Now I see Chuck and I go, wow, you lived a hard life, bro. I'm like, you are the king of bad decisions, bro. I think.
But this match was a pretty good match. I mean, as far as 6-man tags go, this was a pretty good match overall.
Uh, yeah, it started and stopped in pretty much the same way. It was.
Yeah, I think nothing spectacular. I mean, a couple guys, everybody got their shit in. You know what I mean?
Everybody
Nothing
got a moment to
spectacular.
shine.
Nothing super memorable besides Orange Cassidy's top rope dive, which is epic. Of course, everybody's going to talk about the the what do they call it? The hamstring exploding knee kick combination that he throws out. But I think the top rope is a higher spot than his killer kicks.
Yeah, you definitely, because you have such an easy chance of hurting yourself the way he comes off that top rope.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. The way he comes off the top rope is like how they say when you're getting
Like
into a
Jello.
car accident, the best thing you could do is go limp. You know what I mean? I don't think he could hurt himself. I think he comes off that top rope and it's nice and easy, and it's beautiful though. It looks so cool. It's so funny. Orange Cassidy is he's my guy. He's one of my favorites on AEW.
Yeah, he's definitely got he's got that fucking coolness about him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like this is one of those spots where you have to keep the humor in wrestling. The Marco stunt, the Orange Cassidy, it's over. It works. It adds to the production. You know what I mean? You need to be able to laugh every now and again. You don't want to believe everybody's in there trying to kill each other, but you don't want to believe that they're all just out there having fun. You know what I mean? It's a different day and age. The business isn't protected anymore, but it doesn't mean you don't have to do some stuff the old school way.
Exactly. Refresh me. I forgot who won this one. As I'm trying to like.
The Jungle Boy. This is Jungle Boy's first win in AEW.
That's right.
And he sells it as that. After the win, he looks excited. He looks like he just won his first match. Gives Marco Stunt a big hug. You know.
It's about time. It's about time that he gets a little push.
But at the same time, it goes into it. You know, he didn't need to win till today,
No.
and he's over. You know, fucking people love him, and he hasn't won a match yet, and they love him.
Up
until
shout out
this
to Jim
point.
Cornette, but I know how much Jim Cornette loves him too.
Jim Cornette hates everyone. Unless it's Harley Race.
That should be Jim Cornette's podcast name. Jim Cornette, I hate everyone.
Right? The Jim Cornette experience sounds a little too Jimi Hendrix.
I hate everyone.
How about the spot?
Talk to you for 3 hours.
How about the spot in this match, though, where Luchasaurus puts Marco Stunt on his shoulders and then throws him over the turnbuckle to the outside?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Nice, it's great. Like I feel worried for Marco Stunt, but the things they're doing for him, you know, the things that they're using him for are definitely cool. They definitely go over well on camera. I like him.
Well, see, and that's the reason why it really works out with Luchasaurus, because you've got these two little guys, and then you got this beam.
And yeah, the huge monster protector. You know what I mean? That it's not going to let anything happen to his boys. A smaller boy, and his dinosaur.
Exactly. And I love the fact that Jungle Man, what's JR calling him now?
Jungle Man? Jungle Boy Jack Perry? Jungle Jack Perry, that's what he calls him. One thing about Marco Stunt, I mean, again, he's not a complete package, but he could definitely do a little less flossing, man. I'm so sick of seeing that dance, period. It's like Fortnite. What has Fortnite done to this generation?
Yeah, the flossing thing, I'm tired of. It's over. It's over. Okay.
Apparently, Jurassic Express in 2 weeks is going to fight Chris Jericho and Santana and Ortiz, also known as LAX, also known as Proud and Powerful.
Proud and Powerful. The PPs.
Should be a good match. I'm looking forward to that.
I don't know, but do you want to call yourself Pride and Powerful? I mean, because, yeah, you are the PPs.
The PPs. I love LAX though. They're over in my book, man.
Yeah, they were always good. But I'm all about Young Bucks, bro. I'm a Young Bucks guy.
And then in the program, following that is a promo for Bash at the Beach next week. Are you excited to be at the beach?
It's nice that they got to keep it, seeing how it was originally
somewhere else. Yeah, it's cool. And there's some good matches announced, man. Pac is fighting Darby Allin. The Nightmare Collective, Mel and Awesome Kong are fighting Statlander and Sheeta as a tag. Like we said, that DDP with Dustin. This next week's going to be pretty interesting. So tune in for the review. Hopefully it's not a bomb.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And now, here we go back to the.
One more thing that I wanted to I don't know where it fit in exactly when it happened during the show tonight, but I did like how Excalibur today on this show for the first time actually explained why he wears a mask. You know what I mean? When Brandy, that's when it happened. When Brandy Rhodes came out during the women's match, this is the only bright spot of the women's match. Period. Was that Brandy Rhodes was dragging his ass for wearing a mask up there, being a mark, so to speak. And Excalibur explained that he was a professional wrestler for 12 years, and he was trained in the lucha libre style. And while he wrestled, that's the mask he wore. So, for everybody out there that had no idea what the fuck was up with Excalibur and the dude sitting at the table with the mask, that's the deal. It shouldn't have taken 13 weeks to get that out.
No, it shouldn't have. And I'm glad that you caught that because that fucking match was so goddamn bad that I went and took a shit. So
But
I didn't hear
that should
any of
tell
that backstory.
that should tell everybody how bad that match was. Is that I was looking everywhere I could for a bright spot, and that's the only one I got. Was Excalibur explaining why he wears a mask.
So we finally got the reason. Okay, that makes it out better now. Makes it out better.
All right, so in the video here, I don't have a video for the next part of the show. Obviously, for obvious reasons, it would have been really hard to create, and it probably would have taken me more time to create that scenario in a video game than it would to actually just talk about it. But it's the segment, the one we've been waiting for, the Jon Moxley, his response to the invitation to join the Inner Circle.
Listen. Anybody buys me a car, I'm gonna join their fucking circle.
Right, especially a $750,000 car.
You're gonna give me a fucking car, dude. Guess what? You know what? And 49%.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like a sweet deal.
I want 49% of the fucking of the group. I want fucking a brand new car. I want top billing. Shit, I'm taking it. What do you think? You're not going to take that?
I don't know. Like I said, it sounded like a pretty freaking sweet deal, man. So, I don't know. This segment starts out with, regular old Jericho coming down, Judas playing in the background, Am I Evil, the best intro video of them all right now. Le Champion himself walking down with the most beautiful belt I've ever seen. Yeah, the most beautiful belt I've ever seen in my life, man. AEW Championship belt. Kudos on whoever fucking designed that thing.
And he got it stolen.
Yeah. He's from what I hear, he's kept a pretty good eye on it since then, but there was a mishap.
Dumbass.
So
how would you like to be responsible for losing the belt the first night out?
Oh my God, how fucking crazy was that?
Who are you calling at that point? Okay, so let me start with this thing.
And this is after they come to the ring. This is one of the points where Sammy Guevara pulls out the cue cards in the picture-in-picture, and it works perfect. It works perfect. This is how they should do every single picture-in-picture. Like, no commercials, no picture-in-picture at all unless they have a plan for what's going to happen during the picture-in-picture.
Because, I mean, the Sammy Guevara freaking cue cards are awesome. I mean, that is the best thing. That was the best answer I've seen for any of this with the commercial breaks. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a genius idea, and it works for me. It makes it interesting. It drags my eye back to that corner instead of watching cheeseburgers on the left.
So here's my question. So what did you think about Moxley coming out with the shirt on?
Well, let's take it as it came here. Moxley comes out. He's wearing a leather jacket. Can't really tell. Looks like regular old Moxley. And then the question, Jericho makes a little pitch. Moxley gets on the mic, says that Jericho, he's always looked at him as an inspiration and a role model and everything else. And shocks the world. Unzips his jacket.
Off his coat.
Says he accepts the offer. Accepts the offer to be in the Inner Circle. So at this point, nobody knows what's going on, man. Nobody knows how to take this. Nobody knows the way he plays it. I believed it, man. I believed it. I believed it for a second. One of my buddies texted me and said he had me going until I looked at what time it was and saw how much time was left, which is astute observation. You know what I mean? He had me though, so
I was there. I was like, yeah. I'm like, this is gonna be it.
Right? He was having a good old time. He said of course.
Let's get a little bit of the bubbly.
Right? And they start a little champagne party. Champagne flying all over the place. Moxley, for some reason, looks like he was just pouring it in his mouth and spitting it back out all over himself. Not sure if
doing
he's
the
not...
Stone Cold move. Now
right?
now they're just shaking it up, shooting it all over the place.
While this was happening, I'm thinking to myself, does Moxley not drink?
Then he winks at the camera at one point.
Yeah. Subtle foreshadowing there. I caught it. You caught it, obviously. You just brought it up. But he does wink at the camera with a little shit-eating grin. I think that was his sign to the people on watching at home. Stay tuned. It's going to get good. And then after the champagne party, after they let it fly, Moxley says, "Cut the music." Take us from there, Irish McNasty. What happens?
Moxley begins to talk to Jericho about some of the old days. Oh wait, no, but first, remember the crowd. Where Moxley's arguing with the crowd.
Oh yeah, they say I sold out. I sold out. I was driving a 2015 Dodge Ram, and I bought it brand new and was gonna drive it till the wheels fell off. But now I got me a Ford GT, thanks to what did he say? Thanks to the power of Jericho. Something along those lines.
Yep, exactly. So now he's getting ready. He's like, Jericho, where's them keys for that brand new car? He's waiting. So Jericho pulls them out of his pocket, He's dangling them for the crowd, just to show everybody he's got a $250,000 car?
Well, I believe it's a $750,000 Ford GT.
$750,000 car.
Yeah, I mean it's a supercar, man. It's the American answer to the supercars, to the the whatever Bugattis, Huracans, Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
He's like, he was going to run that truck till the wheels fell off, so now he's got a new car.
Now he's got the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good spot. That kind of drew it back in. That was another little part where you thought he actually accepted the Inner Circle, man.
Yeah, he's playing it off so well. I mean, you really got the crowd. The crowd is arguing. He holds up the fingers. He's like, he's got two fingers up. He's
like, hold on a second there, Jericho. You forgot something. He's like, oh, yeah, sorry. And with the Canadian accent, when Jericho says, oh, yeah, sorry, I lost my shit. I think the Canadian accent's hilarious myself, so I lost my shit. He hands him the keys. Moxley puts them in his pocket for safekeeping, of course. And then... cut the music.
Well, it's my favorite, because that's when Big Jack Swagger and Sammy walk out of the ring. They're all just gloating around, and fucking Moxley standing out in the front, with Jericho in ring, putting the keys in his pocket. That was my favorite, when he puts the keys in your pocket, because then you're feeling it going south.
Yep. Definitely. And this whole time I'm thinking to myself, man, Moxley joining this Inner Circle, Moxley and Jericho and Hager, just Moxley and Jericho, these guys could actually be like a powerhouse right now. This could be crazy. I'm thinking to myself, wait, man, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. This is fucking nuts.
This would change wrestling.
It would definitely change AEW. I'll guarantee that. So back to it. That's where we were. Hager and Sammy are taking off. Cut the music, and he says, "Oh yeah, Jericho, I was just kidding. I would never join the Inner Circle. It's a shit fucking stable." And
cracks him over the head with a bit of the bubbly.
He grabs a bottle of bubbly off the table and proceeds to explode it on Jericho's face. Oh man, great way to play
Moxley
it.
shields his way out the crowd.
Oh yeah, before that he paradigm shifts Jericho, and
Oh, Paradigm.
Jericho
Uh,
corpses better than anybody has ever corpsed in my life. It was fucking hilarious.
fucking, he's being held by fucking Jack Swagger. It's fucking
Yeah.
hysterical.
How about
I
when
mean,
before Moxley before he jumps out of the ring, he goes to grab the other bottle off the table and it just explodes.
yeah.
And then walks out of the ring, walks through the crowd, chills out there, says, "I still got the keys to the car, bitch." Jericho's still trying to wake up.
As he's making his way up the stairs and out the ring, I'm like, it couldn't have been any more perfect.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
said, the worst part of that episode last night was the women's match.
Oh,
Everything
definitely.
else, I was
Definitely.
like, I was
For
impressed.
anybody who's saying it's the worst episode of the year, it's definitely not the worst episode. Definitely not. Yeah, man, it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. In my personal opinion, besides the women, everything that had to do anything with the women's match, it was one of the best episodes of the year. But because you have to include the women's match, it was, I don't know, 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I think that about wraps up this episode.
Yeah, man.
I need a cigarette, so that's probably why I'm wrapping this one up a little.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, concerns, anything, just throw it in the comments. We'll see what we can do, and we'll be back next week around this time. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you later.